This is Audible.
Audible Studios presents All the Ugly and Wonderful Things, a novel. Written by Bryn Greenwood. Performed by Georgina Marie.
Part 1. 1. Amy. March 1975. My mother always started the story by saying, "Well, she was born in the back seat of a stranger's car," as though that explained why Wavy wasn't normal. It seemed to me that could happen to anybody. Maybe on the way to the hospital your parents' respectable middle-class car broke down. That was not what happened to Wavy. She was born in the back seat of a stranger's car because Uncle Liam and Aunt Val were homeless, driving through Texas when their old beat-up van broke down. 9 months pregnant, Aunt Val hitchhiked to the next town for help. If you ever considered playing Good Samaritan to a pregnant woman, think about cleaning that up. I learned all this from eavesdropping on Mom's Tuesday night book club. Sometimes they talked about books, but mostly they gossiped. That was where Mom first started polishing the tragic and edifying story of Wavana Quinn. After Wavy was born, Mom didn't hear from Aunt Val for almost 5 years. The first news she had was that Uncle Liam had been arrested for dealing drugs, and Aunt Val needed money. Then Aunt Val got arrested for something Mom wouldn't say, leaving no one to take care of Wavy. The day after that second phone call, Grandma visited and argued with Mom behind closed doors about reaping what you sow and blood is thicker than water. Grandma, my soft-in-the-middle cookie-baking grandma, shouted, "She's family! If you won't take her, I will!" We took her. Mom promised Leslie and me new toys, but we were so excited about meeting our cousin that we didn't care. Wavy was our only cousin, because according to Mom, Dad's brother was gay. Leslie and I, at 9 and going on 7, made up stories about Wavy that were pure Grimm's fairy tales. Starved, kept in a cage, living in the wilderness with wolves. The day Wavy arrived, the weather suited our gloomy theories. Dark and rainy, with gusting wind. Of course, it would have been more fitting if Wavy had arrived in a black limo or a horse-drawn carriage instead of the social worker's beige sedan. Sue Inaldo was a plump woman in a pantsuit, but for me, she was Santa Claus, bringing me a marvelous present. Before Sue could get a rain bonnet over her elaborate Dolly Parton hair, Wavy hopped out of the back seat, dangling a plastic grocery bag in one hand. She was delicate and soaked to the skin by the time she reached the front door. Leslie's face fell when she saw our cousin, but I wasn't disappointed. As soon as my mother opened the door, Wavy stepped in and surveyed her new home with a bottomless look I would grow to love, but that would eventually drive my mother to despair. Her eyes were dark, but not brown. Gray? Green? Blue? You couldn't really tell. Just dark and full of a long view of the world. Her eyelashes and eyebrows were translucent to match her hair. Silver blonde, it clung to her head and ran trails of water off her shoulders onto the entryway tile. "Wavana, sweetie, I'm your Aunt Brenda." It was a voice I didn't recognize, the way she pitched her voice high, falsely bright, and gave Sue an anxious look. Is she okay?" "As okay as she ever is. She didn't say a word to me on the drive over. The foster family she's been with this week, they said she was quiet as a mouse." "Has she been to a doctor?" "She went, but she wouldn't let anyone touch her. She kicked 2 nurses and punched the doctor." My mother's eyes went wide and Leslie took a step back. "Okay then," Mom cooed. "Do you have some clothes in your bag there, Wavona? Let's get you into something dry, okay?" She must have expected Wavy to fight her, but when she reached for the grocery bag, Wavy let it go. My mother opened it and frowned at the contents. "Where are the rest of her clothes?" "That's it," Sue said. "She came to us wearing a man's undershirt. Those are the clothes the foster family got together for her." "I'm sure Amy has something